Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawoman Radio. I'm Amy. Today, we're diving into the mysterious WattsHouse and exploring the possibilities of it being haunted. What secrets lie within its walls? Did NK start the whole thing by placing a crystal? Yeah, and a book under Sweet Bella's bed? Join us as we uncover the truth on this special Dragonfly Members Live episode, exclusively on Parawoman Radio. Let's get ready for an exciting journey. I did decide to make it open and public for everyone so that you can kind of see what goes on with the Dragonfly
Be sure to
live.
give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me.
Everyone, I'm super excited to talk to you. Good morning from Montana. Good morning. And good morning from a very rainy day in Florida. Supposed to be a Dragonfly live. I got the little June bug with me. He's kind of sleepy. I think he's going to take a nap. And we're going to talk about the house. More about the house. What? You ready to talk about the house? What do you think about the haunted house? Is it haunted? Oh, yeah, I know you like to snuggle, snuggle, baby. Do you think the house is a snuggle, snuggle, baby house? Hello, Utter from Yeah, Junie's going to snuggle, snuggle in the house. I don't think you want to snuggle, snuggle in that house, baby. You stay here with mommy and snuggle, snuggle. Okay? Okay, guys, we're going to get started. Let me get my screen ready. So we know that Nichol Kessinger was in the house, right? We all agree that at one point NK was in the Watts house.
In this perfect family, I don't know why you wouldn't want to try to work things out with your wife.
I did. We both did. It's just we're two different people.
Well, you have this great house and this perfect family. I don't know why you wouldn't want to.
So the mainstream media would like us to believe that this is how NK really is. Very demure, and I can't believe you want to break up your family, and I really want to try to help you keep your family, and yada yada yada, yada yada yada. But here, a lot of people say that night that the ponytail gives her away in this footage that the neighbor had of Chris walking back and forth to his garage. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. That's really, really appreciated. So here we have her walking out. And it almost seems like she's got women's jeans on too, because you know how they taper more than men's do. So I do see like in the jeans and then in the gait, it's all just a little bit different, right? Here's the glasses, the ponytail. And then here we have the person walking out. It's so hard because it's blown up so much. It's just really hard. But the gait seems like a female gait. You know, when they analyze the Bigfoot stuff, they look at the gait. And I found a video of, hi Mary Beth, of Nichol Kessinger walking out of Chris Watt's garage, and they have little diagrams that we can look at. Oh, fabulous. Okay, here we go. The way men and women walk are different. We all know that. There are subtle differences between a man and a woman's walk. These differences are referred to as a person's gait. Gender differences found in walking. So there are differences between a man and a woman when they walk. Well, generally, I should say. Yeah. Here, the article describes some of the differences. The way men and women walk is vaguely different, and we can blame that on evolution. While men's physiques are more rigid, women with their feminine body structures tend to walk more slowly. Walking for men has mostly been reserved for fulfilling a specific function rather than thinking it is exercise. Men tend to take larger strides and walk with their legs farther apart. This results in more side-to-side movement, which may be why men are more prone to move their arms and shoulders when they walk than women. Women tend to take shorter strides and keep their legs closer together. The morning of the unaliving, Chris Watts was captured on a neighbor's CCTV. It's Nate's, we know that. It was a motion detected. So the clip you're about to see had already been triggered by movement. So they're putting up the concept that if it's not Chris, who was it? So they're saying this is the first person they see, meaning someone had triggered the motion detection. They're not saying who it was. But the person is walking back and forth. Is it Chris or is it someone else? So they're going to bring it in lighter and you can see clearer. That looked like Chris that walked out. Because he has more of a longer gait, and he actually has more of a kind of a pep in his step, I would say. More of a bounce. And at first when I saw it, it was really dark. I was more prone to be like, that's Chris. That's Chris. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, everybody said that they saw the little shadow of Bella, and everyone was like, no, that's just Chris. That's just Chris. We know it was Bella because Chris later said that Bella ran out. And yeah, so I am thinking that it could very well be NK. So now they're going to play some side by side for us. So this person is more forward leaning to me than Chris. I'm just going to say that the one on the right is Chris. The one on the left, different. Do you think they purposely all dressed alike because of this very thing? What do you guys think? Does it look like somebody else? And if it does look like somebody else, who do you think it is? Let's see what you guys are saying. Women's hips and pelvises are wider for childbearing, and it makes women move more fluidly than men. We know, or we have heard, I've heard that NK put something under Bella's bed, right? And so we're going to look at that. What? We'll get the tweet tweets afterwards, okay, baby? Mommy's got to do this, and then we'll do the tweet tweets, okay? I promise. You got to wait. No.
A clip in regards to the Christopher Watts case. I know there's a lot of recent talk about basically Cato's coming out and she's speaking about a crystal that was found, and I'm thinking it's being said it was underneath Cece's bed, but in fact I'm going to show you where
it was. My understanding is it was under Bella's bed.
dogs, the canine dogs, done the search at the home, and the dog did show interest under Bella's bed, and a book and a rock were found under Bella's bed, as you'll see in the clip I'm getting ready to play for you. So crystal rock, I don't know. I don't mess with crystals. So, I don't know if the officer just called it a rock or if it was in fact a crystal, but you will specifically hear her saying that there's a book under the bed and a rock under the bed. But let's have a listen.
What's that? Yep. See if you can do it. Got a book under there and a rock.
Okay, so we just heard her say we got a book under there and a rock.
What's that? Yep. See if you can do it. Got a book under there and a rock. Hello.
Let's have a listen again.
Got a book under there. Got a book under there and a rock. Hello. Book. No storage or nothing. Now see, this is a bed though, so stand there, go down. You think somebody's sleeping in there? Oh, that was my boss's. Now, did you get everything? Yeah, do you want me to pull the book out? It's literally right here. Oh. That's it. Uh-huh.
So I saw they pull out the book, but I wish we had been able to see the rock better.
Okay, that's what it is. I'm going to step back in the laundry room for a second. Okay.
All right, and I'm going.
So we don't see the rock ever, which I wish that we could see, because it would be really nice to see the rock, right? Yeah, the poor dog was almost hysterical. You're right about what he was picking up, and they just like disregarded the dogs left and right. It's just, I don't understand it. Hold on. Do you guys understand it? Yes, visual is important, especially with things like, so you get needing the sparkles. The sparkles, as probably Junie would call it. I need sparkles. So I thought we would look at this woman. And she talks about 2825 Saratoga Trail up for sale again. Is it haunted? We won't watch it all. I will speed it up and stop it. I will put the link to everything we're viewing down in the description. And I encourage you to go watch it on your own. I must do this for fair play use. And I hope you understand. Before we go into that video, I wanted to show you first this. Chris Watts, and this is old, but it has comments that I wanted to show you. Chris Watts on a live house sold. New owners try to placate spirits of the dead. We hope to honor you in this home. This is Mrs. Miller. We hope to honor you in this home you once called yours, and to fill it with smiles as you did. They wrote, thank you for making this a peaceful home. Peace and love are all we have felt since the moment we first walked through your door. Because of you, we hope to have you alongside us in this new chapter. So in the comments, people are talking. My vision is that it sinks into the ground like the house in Poltergeist. I thought the photo that I created today for it sort of reminded me of that house in Poltergeist. Another person, I'll just keep that up so you guys can see it. Another person goes on to say, sometimes it's better just to say nothing at all. Another person says, Shanann's ghost will probably haunt that family by giving messages regarding Thrive, which was the shady MLM she was involved in. If they get a Ouija board, the first message will be, hey, hun, want to be your own boss? bunch of anti-MLM people, which is funny. I wanted to say something about how this is the place where our beloved prince ate, shat, and spilled his precious loads, but I won't, out of respect for the mama and the tot. Rest in peace. So there's a lot of stuff like that. There was one about Chris Watts's throbbing member visiting them at night, and it goes on and on. Shite happens. More famous murder houses than this one get resold all the time. Who's living in the La Blanca house now? Who owns the John List house? What happened to the nurse dorms visited by Spock? Some get torn down like Gacy and Dahmer, but Dean Corll's house stood for almost 50 years before recently being demolished. Was it empty all the time? Chances are that at some point you lived at a place where death came violently, unalive murder, or you're living there right now. I don't know if I ever told you guys the story about the home I lived in that was supposed to be haunted, and the lady told me that a man died in it, an older man, and that he likes this angel statue that they had on the front porch. And she's like, just don't move it and everything will be fine. And so I never moved it. But then I got this crazy roommate. I had met her at a convention. I was doing Victorian death rites, and I did a steampunk convention, and she played the harp. She over the loudspeaker the whole weekend, she played the harp, and it was beautiful. And she, seemed fine and upbeat, and yeah. So I needed a roommate, and we became roommates. And one day I went to work, and I came home, and she had redecorated my room, my bedroom. That's what I was dealing with. She had told me that her ex-boyfriend had sprinkled, not crack, but meth, had sprinkled meth on the light bulbs. And when you turned on the light bulbs, he was trying to kill her. He was trying to get her addicted to meth too. When she told me that, I was like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. And so anyways, I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. I was getting really sick. I was starting to get really sick at that time. And and she wasn't paying me rent. It was like this big thing where, she's going to do this Renaissance festival at the end of the summer, and she's going to pay me big money. And the Renaissance festival was here. She wasn't paying me anything. I couldn't afford it anymore. So I moved out, and she moved the angel. And a week later, she was found dead on the front porch. A week after I had moved out. She had started telling everybody that I was sprinkling because she had this asthma problem. So it was a big no smell issue for her. I couldn't wear anything, nothing could have a smell. I found out later, nothing smells. I used to put my perfume on in my car, and that wasn't good enough for her. It was too much for her. So she said that I was sprinkling potpourri on the light bulbs, trying to kill her. But anyway, she moved the angel, and a week later she passed away. Just saying, I never moved the angel. I told her the story, and I told her not to move the angel. She said that she talked to the man, and he said it was okay to move the angel. I was like, well, whatever. And so that's my story of my crazy roommate. And then people that she had told about the potpourri were starting to spread rumors that I had actually literally tried to unalive her. You haven't lived until somebody has accused you of that. I was talking to my friend who was a lawyer, and I was like, should I call the police? Should I tell them that, are they going to think this is true? And they're like, no, you were far away. Nobody unalived somebody by putting potpourri, and it's crazy. Let me see. I see Amanda has a crazy story. Amanda says, I've seen men throw flaming arrows into pregnant women in shopping stores, and then he bent down behind her and binded her at the feet to curse her unborn baby. People are evil. Yes, people are evil. That's something to see. My gosh, that's nothing compared to my story that I just told. Mary Beth says, my house was built in 1840. The front living room was used for wakes. Sometimes I smell flowers or perfume. Some hauntings are kind of like that. They're just residual type of haunting where you smell things, or every Mother's Day at midnight, the woman descends the stairs and walks, like that's like residual. So it sounds like it could have been more of a residual haunting. But we're going to watch this woman. This is Diary of a Mystic. And she has 2825 Saratoga Trail up for sale. Again, is it haunted?
This week, amongst other things in life, about 2825 Saratoga Trail up for sale. So come in, join me. And the Miller family is selling the home after 14 months. And I'm very intrigued by this.
There has been
I don't
a
know
veil
if you
lifted.
are, but it's intriguing and mysterious. And
something has happened in our universe, and it started with the age of Aquarius when everyone was talking about that. Something changed right around that time. I think it was like in the 80s or 90s. Something changed, and even animals. There's something different about animals. So,
and I just kind of want to talk about it. So let's discuss. Let's discuss, shall we?
We shall.
Hold on a second. Let me insert my the real estate photos online. You can see the children's names on the wall.
You can see the children's names on the wall, and that's like, yes, it's free choice. We can choose evil or bad, and I don't believe that Christianity is the only religion. So we've been given ways that we can recognize evil and bad, evil and good, and it's our choice.
And their times of birth and all these other things. And I just thought to myself, ew, I don't know if I would be doing that. And I only say that because after such a tragedy occurred in that space, and then another family moves in, I just got a really eerie feeling about that. And is the home haunted? So let's discuss. Is the home haunted?
I don't agree with that.
If you've been,
I don't think there's more bad than good. I don't agree with more bad people than good. It's just what you find and what you look for and what you talk about and what you do.
Watching me for a while, you know that I previously lived in a haunted home from 2016 to 2019. So about 3.5 years. And I have had paranormal experiences before, but I never had anything like that happen. And it wasn't just me that experienced it. It was the entire family. We also had people that would come by the home that experienced phenomena. Here that I did was about whether or not Chris Watts was this demonic possession. And in the presence of what act that he did, in the presence of that home, let's go through the pictures with such emotion and energy that came out of that. Okay. It can leave behind emotional residue. Okay. It's trauma and the energy of the trauma.
I think it's also becoming a black pit. It's like sucking in emotional negativity. Like everybody talking about the house and the negativity and what's going on. And the house is almost just as big as anything else in this case. And it's just sucking in the negativity. It's like, give me more attention. I need more. I need more. I need more. I want more. I need more. And I think Nichol Kessinger started this whole pit. I really do.
And here's what the home looks like now today. If you've been watching what's been going on with the home is brighter now. They did the face of the house. It looks different. So it's maybe it's new siding. There also could have been a paint job, and it's much brighter. It doesn't have that dull brown, depressing.
And we know that in the court proceedings that Mr. Miller is the one that is supposedly now living at the house because he's been given like rights to go to that house. So to me, it sounds like when he has the kids, he's probably in that house with the kids and Mrs. Miller's not there. I'm guessing.
Look to it anymore. So the home itself, if you're tuning in, so the home itself in terms of emotional residue or residual haunting is actually more common than you know or even would think about. And this home was built in 2013. So it doesn't have to be like the traditional scary, like haunted mansion for a place to be haunted. So with what took place August 13th, 2018, there can be a lingering energy or presence attached to this home.
True, Kelly.
It can also be where the events that took place, the tragedy that took place, that memory or that echo of that memory is still there. Now, I believe that Shanian's family was Catholic, so if they had brought in perhaps a Catholic priest to bless the home or any type.
I love the east side of the United States. When I lived in Michigan, I took a lot of October trips up the east side coast and around that. So I love Massachusetts. I also spent a summer in college traveling around, and I think I went to a refugee center. We worked at a refugee center in Massachusetts, or was it in Maryland? One of those two places. But we were all over the East Coast for like 2 months and a half, and it was just like one of my favorite memories of college.
Cleansing of the home, I would feel would have been very appropriate. So I wanted to zoom in on the foyer, on the grand room of the home when you walk in. And this area here concerned me the most. And not as a family in terms of the idea of doing this for their children. It's eerie to me that they did this in a home that took 3 children, one child not born yet.
Why do you think they did that? Do you think, at first I thought the 3 names were like after the Watts kids, but then I saw it was after theirs. And then not only that, but photos of them too. Like, that's strange to me.
Yet, and how would that affect any type of residual energy or spirit attachment in the home? And if those spirit attachments would be attracted to this area, because it almost looks like an altar setup. It's a makeshift fireplace, but it has an altar feel here. It's more of like a memory. It looks more of like a...
Yes, I wanted to visit Seattle at one point in my life, but I don't have a desire to go there anymore because, yeah. I think that we can tell that it's a huge failure to make all drugs legal. Seattle is proof of that. Gives us that proof.
Memorial.
You know what? I think we kind of need to make these experiments to see if they work or not. I don't know how we're going to fix Seattle, but I think that we need to see what works and what doesn't work. I'll stop interrupting now.
14 months. And I'm very intrigued by this.
Bucket list.
I don't know if you are, but it's intriguing and mysterious, and I just kind of want to talk about it.
Let's discuss. We're waiting.
Let's discuss, shall we? And
I'm going to move it forward.
I have had paranormal experiences before, but I never had anything like that happen. And it wasn't just me that experienced it. It was let's go through the pictures. With such emotion and energy that came out of that. Children, when regardless, the energy that is still there is still, it could still be lingering. And many times with tragic events, from my experience and from my own personal experience, there can be attachments to the event, which could be almost like there's a primary spirit attachment and then it has little attachments next to it or that's attracted to it. And so I'm wondering if this display of love for their children, perhaps.
What do you guys feel? Do you feel like that display of putting the 3 children's name on a wall in a home that, for all intents and purposes, 2 children were, but 3 were unalived, you know, if you believe that Bella and Cece, it happened in the house. But I do feel like Cece, I've said this before, had brain damage from the first unaliving. And I think Bella was the one that suffered it worse because she was aware of what was going on. Plus, she was older. Even at that age, even being like a year and a half or 2 years older, it makes a huge difference in what you understand. And I believe Bella went through it.
Perhaps maybe it was not the best idea to place into a home like this. I know they probably had a lot of love for the home. Maybe they wanted to create a sense of family and love back into the home. But I'm wondering if this area in particular, I keep zooming in on it, was messed with, okay, by any type of ghostly activity or paranormal activity. If anything on this wall at any particular time while the Millers lived there, was anything messed with in this area primarily here?
Not a huge fan of that area at all.
I'm just wondering. That's my curiosity. I could be totally off the chain with my theory, but I've seen a few videos on YouTube that are asking if the home is haunted. Hold on a second. So we have this picture in particular, and then we go next into the opposite end of the room going up the stairway. So the house itself, it looks like it doesn't look anything like it did when Shanann lived there. This looks like a portrait of a train or locomotive. There's different signage on the wall.
Reminds me of that bridge where those two girls, the Delphi murders or unalivings.
Things have been painted differently. Excuse me, they have a telescope.
A telescope right next to the window that is so close to the neighbors. Like, it's obviously staged.
So once again, here's pictures of their babies. I felt that I had a spirit attachment come to me from this case. So there was some real heavy.
There have been some creators, Christina Randall or Russell, I don't remember if it's Randall or Russell, and Watts the Obsession recently, I think, said something paranormal linked back from there. I have a piece of the home but I keep it outside just in case, because I don't want any links to the house. I don't need that.
Heavy, dark energy.
So if I were offered to go and do a paranormal investigation, I would. It would be too much for me to turn down, even though I'm not doing that anymore, because I feel like part of my illness came from doing my paranormal work.
Attached to this case. And I'm wondering why the home is for sale again. So maybe it's not haunted. Maybe they just decide to flip the home, resell it, and make a profit. So this was once purple, and I put that video back up on my channel. It's called The Purple Room. And I did a video.
I love the purple room. I'm going to have a purple ceiling one day.
About portals. I was very pulled to this room in particular. And there were videos, because Shanann was so public with her life on Facebook, and she was having like a LuLaRoe or leggings, or remember the company that made the leggings? She had a video up on her Facebook page that a lot of people, everybody had her videos all over YouTube at that point, but a lot of people, she had a party in this room selling clothing.
Well, she had huge parties. They were like get-togethers where she would bring in a LuLaRoe, I forget that, or that purse company, like just a bunch of MLMs, and she would invite them to the house. And I remember this whole room was like a dress room.
Company, and the room was purple. It's not purple anymore, but it used to be purple. So I did a video about the purple room, and in this corner in particular, right next to where this mirror is now, they had a plant there, and I was always pulled to that area. This room in particular kind of has this deep recessed kind of scalloped ceiling. I don't know what it is about this room, but I just really felt pulled right there, because the home was built in 2013. The Watts family, Shanann and the children, had only lived there for approximately about 1 year. So they weren't in this home very long at all. In fact, the family that's moved.
Did you feel like this room had any kind of portal pull to it? I did, when you have dark ceilings, it takes the ceiling off your top. It makes it expansive, makes it so I could see a portal thing, but it's also visually very appealing, and it makes a room look bigger.
Years probably lived there longer than they did, which nobody's really talking about. But I'm pretty sure the home was built in 2013.
Nice.
So this is also the same area, the same room. And if you believe, or if you are interested in this type of, if you have an interest in the subject of the paranormal, and if you've asked yourself, I wonder if the home is haunted, there could be a relatively good chance that there is residual hauntings going on, or there could be any type of paranormal phenomena taking place, which would not be unusual. It would not be unusual in this space at all. I'm going to breeze through these pictures and go up the steps. So if you're tuning in, I'm doing an impromptu live here. So here we are on the ground. We were on the ground floor. Now we're on the top floor. I believe that this was Bella's room. That was Cece's room. And so once again, this home was empty for 4 years until this family moved in, until the Miller family moved in. This room over here, I remember, was like Shanann's office. And that's the room where the 2 female police officers walked in, and they heard a giggle audibly from the closet. Many have debunked that as perhaps it was a baby doll or a toy, but both women heard it audibly, and it sounded like a child's giggle.
They heard it audibly because the baby doll, she knocked the box, and the baby doll started doing that creepy giggle that freaking Nichol Kessinger does too. That's the weird part of it.
And this was like a day after the murders took place. Now, this was Shanann and Chris's primary bedroom. They had this huge, ginormous, I don't know if it was a king-size bed, but it had it was a huge, what's the word? What's that called? Not a day bed. It had the great big pillars for like a canopy bed would be. So this is the room where Shanann lost her life, and the bed's in the same position. Why they would keep the bed in the same position to me is the same position that the Shanann's bed was in. This is a really large room. I don't know if I would want to recreate that and keep the bed in the same position. That's a little weird to me. I don't know.
Where would they put the bed in this room? Like, you mean flip it on the opposite wall or something? Who wants to have their bed where you can't see who's coming in the door? I guess they could put it on this far wall. What do you guys think? Yeah, the giggle was proved. But I think it's like weird that the giggle sounded like those creepy giggles that NK would put on Chris Watts's cell phone. I feel like that's the creepy part of it.
Maybe I'm the only one that's actually like questioning things.
Are you the only? Do you guys feel like the bed should be moved?
So Lauren,
Oops, sorry.
I actually have a picture of Marilyn Monroe in my bathroom, but it's not that picture. Let's go back. So this is, I believe, one of the children's rooms. Now this picture here.
Now I think this is Cece's room because we had these two. We have these two windows, and if we put this on there, we can see that the two windows are pretty close together. So this would be Cece's room that we're looking at now, and then this is Bella's room. We know that. So I think what we're looking at here is Cece's room.
Has Lauren's name on the wall. I'm not sure which room she has. She may have Bella's room or Cece's room upstairs.
Did Bella's room have two windows, or was it just one? I think that's the back playroom that we're looking at.
Okay, and there's Emerson. So perhaps this other room here was a guest room, and maybe perhaps because the baby.
I don't know. I get confused about all this because maybe the two window one is, I don't know. Very bad feng shui to have your feet pointed to the door, is it? I don't know. I just think that I want to see if anybody's coming in my room, especially at night. So.
May have been sleeping with the parents in their room. So this could have been an empty room.
It's probably a guest
room.
So
Lauren and Emerson, it looks like this was Bella's room with the windows. I could be wrong. Or this perhaps was Cece's room. I could be wrong on that too. Now you have a family that was annihilated. The house was empty for 4 years. And then you have a new family that moves in that's kind of similar to the old family. Hey, Saban. It's kind of similar to the old family in terms of the ages of the children and the sexes of the children, with being two girls. All right.
Oops, did it stop?
And I'm not saying the house is haunted with Shanann's ghost. I'm not even claiming that, or saying that it's haunted by the children, the type of rug that Shanann had. I'm wondering if these are also Shanann. And then another family moves in.
Stopped hearing the sound. She lose her
type of rug that Shanann had. I'm wondering if these are also Shanann's same appliances in the home.
I wonder that too, and I think it's creepy too. The same carpet.
So a lot of activity here. Children's toys.
Yeah, I think something went down in the basement, and so the basement is where I would spend a lot of time if I was investigating. I would spend a lot of time in the basement and in the upstairs bedroom. Maybe the portal she's talking about is a portal in the dining room because it goes right. Doesn't it go right up to the bedroom?
What are these little things called? I want to say tambourine. It's not a tambourine. What is it called?
Trampoline.
Oh my God. Anyway. So yeah, so this house was filled again with children's laughter, with children's cries, with children's energies. And I'm wondering if, especially the most vulnerable would be the children, if anything perhaps affected them or happened to them, to these children. So somebody was a Broncos fan. This must be the man cave. This looks like a dad.
It's like the
man cave. He's got a fridge in here. So yeah, this is a man cave. That's a man cave right there. And I don't think the family has any relation to anybody. Especially with having the boy in the home because she was pregnant with Nico, you know? Yeah, I don't think this family had anything to do with the judgment. I think they just popped the whole answers. I think
she didn't hear about the Miller dad going to court. I am going to schedule our next Dragonfly Live to go more in depth on this subject. If you want to continue on this research with me, be sure to become a member. It's $2.99 a month. We have Dragonfly Lives. I release all my videos early to the Dragonflies. I do shout outs to the Dragonflies. And we have special emojis for the Dragonflies, and we have Dragonfly emojis and all that stuff. The Dragonflies I chose because I have been seeing all over the place, and I just always feel happy when I see Dragonflies. And Dragonflies have been around since the dinosaurs. They were like big as yardsticks at one point, and they have shrunk because their habitat has shrunk, and they just have been that amazing, and they have adapted. And I feel like most of us are people that are just adapting to life and just trying to live. And yeah, so you're my Dragonflies, and I love my Dragonflies, and I love my Parawoman Radio subscribers. So if you can't become a Dragonfly, totally get it. But I would love to have you as a free subscriber. Okay. And guess what? I'm super in love with you guys. I love you guys. I really do. You guys make me so, I feel so grateful. You've helped me start that gratitude feeling again, because I was really depressed and I wasn't really grateful for anything. Like, people were like, at least you woke up today. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But you guys have helped me bring the gratitude back into my heart. And so I am really grateful for you guys. And if nobody's told you this, I'm telling you this. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
10,000 ravens came knocking like thieves on my door. Cold, I stared back like dead tree bark, glued to these old breaking floors. The maid, she brought down an old casket. She lined it with Mama's old quilt, while roses were drawn back like shotguns, draped softly around my cold hips. And the raven said, "Ooh, you should fly